A salary is sold as stability. Predictable income equals security. Security is supposed to mean freedom. That is the story. But the more predictable your income becomes, the less unpredictable you can afford to be. You cannot test uncertain paths. You cannot step away without damage. You cannot challenge authority without risk. Your behavior slowly adjusts to protect continuity. You choose safety over friction. You choose silence over conflict. The system does not force you, it pays you. And steady pay quietly produces steady compliance. Your salary arrives on the same day each month. The number is familiar and expected. You plan your life around that deposit. Bills clear automatically within days. Mortgage, utilities, insurance, subscriptions, everything flows from that predictable inflow. You track expenses but rarely question the source. The source feels stable. Your employer deposits income without negotiation each cycle. You exchange hours for certainty. Certainty feels responsible. You commit to long-term contracts because the money is consistent. You sign leases with confidence. You finance purchases with comfort. Lenders approve you because your income is steady. Stability opens doors. You accept recurring obligations without hesitation. Monthly payments stack quietly in the background. Annual renewals arrive without debate. Your calendar fills to protect that stability. You show up on time. You meet expectations. You manage risk carefully inside defined boundaries. You avoid unnecessary conflict. You do not disrupt what works. You adapt to policies you did not design. You nod in meetings you would not lead. You filter your tone before pressing send. You frame disagreement as suggestion. You measure reactions before stating opinions. You learn which battles are worth the risk. Your lifestyle expands around fixed deposits. Fixed deposits define your tolerance. The routine feels mature. It feels structured. It feels safe. Predictable money, predictable behavior. This is called financial responsibility. Predictable income is viewed as discipline. Discipline is associated with maturity. Maturity signals control. You were told this is how adults build stable lives. Earn consistently and avoid disruption. Stability reduces stress and protects progress. Risk is framed as recklessness. Volatility is framed as danger. A steady salary becomes proof of good judgment. You are praised for reliability. You are rewarded for consistency. Promotions reinforce this identity. Validation validates stability. Friends describe you as dependable. Family sees you as secure. The belief feels logical. If income is predictable, planning becomes easier. If planning becomes easier, life becomes safer. Safety is treated as success. Few people question this equation. Security is assumed to create freedom. The more stable you become, the freer you are supposed to feel. That is the narrative. Predictability equals control. Control equals power. Power feels like freedom. The system prefers predictability. Companies forecast budgets around steady labor. Managers reward employees who reduce uncertainty. Predictable workers are easier to manage. They follow policy without disruption. They prioritize continuity over conflict. They protect quarterly targets. They defend approved strategy. They escalate carefully. Salaries are structured to reinforce this pattern. Fixed pay reduces negotiation frequency. Fixed pay reduces volatility in behavior. Bonuses are tied to measurable compliance. Promotions favor those who protect stability. Stability protects the organization. The organization protects stable contributors. Health benefits flow through payroll. Retirement plans reward long tenure. Stock grants vest over time. Vesting schedules discourage abrupt exits. Deferred compensation rewards patience. Time becomes leverage against you. Leaving early means forfeiting value. Speaking up risks performance reviews. Performance reviews affect compensation. Compensation affects your lifestyle. Lenders prefer documented salary history. Landlords prefer employment verification letters. Recruiters filter by current title and tenure. Background checks validate continuity. The incentives are aligned. predictability is rewarded. Predictability becomes expectation. Expectation shapes behavior. Predictability reduces volatility. Volatility is where leverage forms. A fixed salary smooths income swings. It also smooths your behavioral range. You learn to protect what is steady. You avoid actions that threaten continuity. That avoidance becomes rational. Your fixed expenses rise to match fixed income. Your minimum acceptable salary increases each year. That number defines your negotiation limits. You cannot easily step below it. You cannot easily pause it. Ownership paths often begin with instability. Instability clashes with fixed obligations, so you delay uncertain moves. You postpone independent projects. You defer equity risks. You decline opportunities without guaranteed pay. You wait for perfect timing. Each delay feels prudent. Each delay reinforces dependence. You grow more skilled inside structured roles. You grow less tolerant of unstructured risk. Your resume compounds in one direction. Your identity follows it. Recruiters value your stability signal. Lenders price your predictability into approvals. The market rewards your compliance profile. You begin to optimize for internal advancement. External leverage weakens quietly. You trade optionality for predictability. The trade feels small at first. Over time, it compounds. Freedom narrows quietly. Predictability sets the ceiling. The mechanism is subtle. Your salary arrives without negotiation each month. That removes urgency to build alternatives. Alternatives require irregular effort. Irregular effort threatens regular pay. So you prioritize what preserves the deposit. You optimize performance inside the system. You deprioritize paths outside it. Over time, your skills specialize around internal incentives. Your network concentrates within company boundaries. Your references depend on managerial approval. Approval depends on alignment. Alignment requires controlled behavior. Controlled behavior limits dissent. Dissent risks compensation. Compensation protects lifestyle. Lifestyle increases fixed commitments. Fixed commitments raise your risk floor. The higher the floor, the less you can fall. The less you can fall, the less you can jump. Your options shrink without announcement. Your tolerance for uncertainty declines each year. You become careful with tone and timing. You self-edit before speaking. You anticipate reactions before proposing change. You internalize boundaries without being told. You confuse caution with strategy. Predictability shapes conduct. Conduct reinforces dependence. Compliance becomes efficient. At first, you believe you can leave anytime. Your resume is strong. Your performance reviews are solid. Recruiters still send messages. That feels like mobility. But most offers mirror your current structure. Similar salary, similar hierarchy, similar expectations. Each move preserves predictability. Each move preserves compliance. Starting something independent would interrupt income. Interrupting income would strain obligations. Obligations now anchor your decisions. Your savings buffer months, not reinvention. Reinvention requires instability tolerance. Instability now feels irresponsible. You measure risk against fixed deposits. Fixed deposits win. You compare upside to guaranteed pay. Guaranteed pay wins. Your behavior narrows to protect continuity. You become excellent at operating within limits. Exits require disruption. Disruption becomes unacceptable. Fewer real options remain. You are mobile inside the system. Outside it, leverage is thin. Your compensation depends on approval. Approval depends on alignment. Alignment depends on restraint. Your ceiling lowers quietly. The salary keeps arriving. So you keep adjusting. Predictability becomes permission to stay quiet. And the longer it pays you, the harder it becomes to stop being compliant.